I like it.
I do too. No.
And I don't think it's too sweet.
No, actually, it's just a little bit of tartness, which is good. No, I like it. I think this is a good breakfast dessert. I'm eating fruit. I feel like I'm eating something healthy. Look at all this fruit.
Hi you guys, welcome to my little kitchen. I'm Amy Roloff, and so welcome to fall. I'm going to try and do a little bit of fall baking, make some things that I haven't made in a long time, but I want to do it for you on video. And one of those things is I'm going to try and take like the late summer, early fall fruits such as a pear, and we are going to make a pear apple tart. Now I'm not going to make the tart in a typical tart pan or using a puff pastry. I'm going to do probably one of my favorite things because it's kind of rustic. You don't have to exactly be perfect, but you want to really try and get it as round as you can and just kind of fold the edges over. But that's like the crostini or galette. So we're going to do, oops, that means my oven is ready. So we're going to do an apple pear tart with cranberries. I know, I'm going to give that a little shot, little kind of fall thing going on here. And I would probably use walnuts, but because I live in Oregon now, hazelnuts are the biggest nut here. So I'm just to add a little bit of crunch, but a little kind of earthy, rustic, nuttiness to it, I'm gonna really crunch up some hazelnuts and put that over there. So anyway, let's get going. First of all, we're gonna start with the crust. I have about 1.5 cups of flour here. I'm making a little bit smaller of a crostini or galette. Since it's only Chris and I here, we can't eat all of this stuff. No wonder I've gained weight, especially during COVID, and now we're in our second year of all this stuff. Oh, I blame it on that, but I think it's more me. I haven't gotten out or moved and everything like that. So anyway, I have about 1/2 cup of flour, regular all-purpose, really good flour. And then I'm gonna use a local person that I got this at the farmer's market. It's kind of like this great grains ground flour. It's not quite wheat, it's not rye or any of that, but I think it's gonna add that little bit of texture to the flour and the crust. I don't know how better else to explain it, tell you the truth, you guys. So I'm gonna add a little bit of salt in here. Just a pinch. I'm definitely going to add a little bit of sugar since I've got some fruit going on in here, and especially with the cranberries. You could use dried cranberries, but I'm using frozen cranberry and I have a little bit of sugar in it. So I think that's about enough. So is that it? Yes. I'm trying to remember everything I've got to do here, because you know me, sometimes I forget. But I'm so excited about fall, and well, I'm excited, but I'm also kind of upset at myself. Just gonna mix that dry stuff in there a little bit. We're gonna go ahead and cut in the butter. This is typically like a regular pie crust dough, but this time I'm gonna add in a little bit of egg yolk just to kind of bind it together and give that little bit of richness to the crust. This is 1/2 stick, or well, 1 stick of butter, which is about 8 tablespoons. I forgot to get my knives over here. So I'm just gonna cut this into chunks. Ooh, got stuck on the knife. because I cut them into chunks. Since I am doing this by hand, it's just easier to mash it up with the pastry cutter. One of my favorite things, pastry cutters. You guys, I really don't know why I have such a propensity of not using my food processor. I just don't know why. Maybe because partly I think it's more work to get it out, just to do a little bit of pulse. But I will tell you this, if you do make your crust and everything in a food processor, I think it really incorporates the butter and all the other stuff that you put in with the flour a little more refined, a little better than doing this by hand. So that's about 8 tablespoons. Then we're just gonna do a little bit of shortening because I think that really kind of gives a little bit of texture there. So maybe just about a tablespoon, maybe 2. There we go. Oops. I might need this. Let's get some of this out of the way here. Okay, let's start blending in the butter and the shortening to our flour and get this crust going, because I want to put it in the refrigerator and then we'll start on the fruit. Hi, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you are enjoying it, and I would really appreciate it if you liked it and subscribed to it. And oh, don't forget to click that little bell up there and you'll be notified of future videos that are new and coming on my YouTube channel. So thank you so much for that. And I would really appreciate it if you shared the video and let other people know and encourage them to subscribe and like the videos as well. So anyway, thank you, and back to the video. Okay, I did put the butter in here, but I think the thing I forgot to do was to put in a little bit of sugar. I don't think I did that. I talked about it, but I don't think I did it. So we're just gonna do maybe a tablespoon. I think that'll be good, just to give it a little bit sweetness. At least I don't remember. I tasted the flour and it tastes like flour. So we're just gonna use our, you know what? We're gonna use our arm muscles and our pastry blender and mash in this butter and a little bit of the shortening until it resembles like little crumbs. I would say like coarse sand. I don't know, you guys, I just really like doing it this way. I don't know if it's just I just feel more connected to it, to what I've made. And if it fails, then it's me. Not that I can say, oh, it's the food processor's fault. But it's still you, because I'm the one that operated the food processor. I'm just gonna keep going at this. Oh, I think the thing I forgot to finish was, I love fall. I cannot believe we're almost in, not quite the middle of October, early October, and I have not decorated my house yet. I got back from visiting my dad in September. I threw my daughter-in-law, Isabel, a baby shower. Then trying to play catch up on my emails and figuring out maybe some recipes that I want to make for y'all. And get that on video, that here I am in October and I'm like, my most favorite season besides Christmas and spring and summer. Basically, I like the change of seasons. That I just forgot to decorate. So I got a couple of pumpkins. They're outside my front door. I've got sunflowers. My guest bathroom. What? Chris walked into the room, so I thought I'd better not talk about my bathroom. Well, one of the things I was gonna say about my bathroom is that I kind of, you know, it's a thing we all gotta do, but kind of want to make people feel like they're in a little garden. So now I'm gonna put sunflowers and all that other good fallish stuff so that they can appreciate fall. Anyway, I'm not sure why I said that. Okay, I think this is pretty good. Before I put a little bit of egg yolk in here and some water, I want to just taste it for a moment and make sure. Yeah, I like that. Just enough sugar not to over sweeten the pie crust. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna finish up this pie crust here so I can get it in the oven and actually have a little bit of dinner. Where did my yolk go? Here's my little yolk. That'll kind of give the crust a little bit of richness and help with binding. Okay. Oh yeah, wait a minute, I forgot the water. Let me just get water here. I'm gonna try and measure this as best I can. 1, 2, 3. 3 little tablespoons. Use my fork. Okay. Oh yeah, I think 3 tablespoons is just about enough. 'Cause I don't want it too moist, I don't think. And especially with me using that other grain flour, because that'll really soak up the water too. So if you're just using regular flour, I think 3 tablespoons will still be enough too. But if you think it's too dry, just add a little bit more. Okay. Yeah, we're just gonna do a little tart here. Okay. And then you know what? In all actuality, I probably could put it in a little tart pan and have it more of a formal tart. So I'm really gonna try and make this as round as I can. Okay, since we've got that in here, I'll get some saran wrap. I hate doing saran wrap. It always sticks to each other, and I'm just gonna kind of put it back in the bowl. Just like that, put it in the fridge, and we're gonna get going on the fruit. So we're doing the apples and the pear for the apple pear cranberry tart or crostini. So I'm gonna finish up this pear. I didn't peel the pear. I didn't think it was necessary, so I hope it's not. But if you wanna peel a pear, I guess you could. But I am peeling the apple. Because one thing that I think I have found when doing apples, especially for like an apple pie, apple crisp or anything, is that the apple either shrinks or whatever, but it separates itself from the skin, and who wants to eat apple peel? Anyway, the pears I did not do. So the amount of pears that I put in here were 3, and I put in 4 apples, but it really depends on the size. These were kind of just small to medium size apples, and I would recommend, like anything else, like for an apple pie or an apple crisp, is to use a firmer apple, such as like Honeycrisp. I think I've had good luck with Fuji or Gala or Granny Smith, of course. These were from the local farmer's market. And to tell you the truth, I really forgot how delicious they are, but they may not be the best for this apple tart. Look how easy they come apart. I think these are Gravestine apples, and they are delicious. And I don't even know if I've ever had a Gravestine apple when I lived in Michigan. Macintosh were really, and I think Macintosh and Jonathan, I think, were really good apples when I was in Michigan, but I don't remember my mom getting Gravestine. So I don't know if it's a Northwest apple, Washington apple, or whatever it is, but they are delicious. But they may not be the best for this, so we'll see. So I'm not cutting them as thin as I probably normally would on a crisper, firmer apple, because if you cut them too thick on a firmer, crisper apple, it'll take too long to cook, and by the time your pie crust and everything else. So anyway, so we're just gonna get a spoon, mix this up. Hang on here. I gotta move my stool over because I don't have enough room. Or I don't know where my other one is. So I'm just gonna kind of stir this up a little bit. And I have a little bit of ginger, allspice, and cinnamon here. I have maybe about, oh yeah, you know what? I'm not gonna mix the allspice and cinnamon. That's gonna go in the other mixture. I do have a little bit of sugar in here. I would say a couple of tablespoons of sugar, but I've also mixed in some cornstarch because I have a feeling this might be a little juicy, so I'm hoping the cornstarch will help thicken up some of the sauce, some of the juice. Anyway, I'm just gonna do a couple of shakes, ginger. So it might be a quarter of a teaspoon. Just mix this up a little bit. So I'm definitely not doing a lot here. Mixed in with just a couple little squeezes of lemon juice, because I'm hoping my apples don't turn too brown. So we're just gonna stir that up a little bit. Then I'm going to mix in my cranberries. You want to know how much this is? This is probably an oversized half a cup of cranberries. I don't want to put a lot in here because I want the apples and the pear to be emphasized. And if you don't want cranberries in it, don't put cranberries in it. Maybe add a few more apples or pears, or one more apple and pear. But I just thought this would add like a really good, colorful, hopefully they don't all sink to the bottom. I probably should have just, you know what I probably should have done? Was probably just sprinkled the cranberries over the tart, but I didn't. I'm gonna clean up the cutting board so I can get this all prepped and ready to just chop up just a few hazelnuts. I want a rough chop, but I'm gonna go a little more. I don't want to mince, but I would say a little bit of finely chopped. You don't want too much crunch in there, but I just thought it'd be really good. In fact, I even may just sprinkle them on top along with this sugar, kind of brown sugar crumble base. So we'll get going. Hey, I cleaned up my mess a little bit. Got my pie crust out. I'm gonna see how this rolls out. Again, sometimes using a different flour, you're not sure. I'm gonna try and get this into a circle as best I can. This kind of like unprocessed grain flour. Well, unprocessed meaning it hasn't been run through the mill 50 million times, but I'm hoping it will give that nice little crunch to it. We're just gonna fix it up here a little bit. Just gonna fold up the edges so I can make it more round. Because it is kind of falling apart. Might have to forego this and make my dough again. Which that has happened, people. Or I'll just make cookies out of this. How about that? And just put it like a little maple glaze around it. Because I don't want to put all the fruit on here and have it fall apart. That would really bum me out. Okay, we're gonna go see if this works. Phew. This is a much easier tart and process than what I probably made it on this video. But sometimes when something doesn't work out, if you can, you just redo it. So that's what I did here. I redid it on my pie crust because the type of flour that I mixed in with regular all-purpose flour didn't quite turn out the way I wanted it to be, but that's why I love being in the kitchen. You know, it's trial and error, and you guys are, you know, on this journey with me, regardless of how long I've been cooking and or attempting to bake. But we're ready to put this in the oven now. I have it preheated at 400 degrees. I'll bake this for about 10 minutes and then turn it down to 375 and then continue to bake it for maybe about 20 to 25 minutes depending until the crust is a nice golden brown. So wish me luck. Phew. I'll see you in about maybe a half hour. Oh, we'll be back in Amy Roloff's little kitchen. Well, it's the next day, and I think the pear apple cranberry tart looks absolutely fabulous. I cannot wait to taste it. Anyway, it was fun making this dessert dish. Even though I ran into some problems with the pie crust using a different type of flour, I'm gonna have to learn how to do that a little bit more on using different types of flours. But I think this absolutely looks fabulous. I hope it tastes just as delicious. And so I'm gonna have Chris come over here and he's gonna be my little taste tester. Anyway, I think it looks great. So, where did my knife go? Here we go. I'm gonna cut us a slice. And hopefully this will taste. Hopefully he will think it tastes good. Whoa. So yeah, definitely look at my recipe. I think one of the changes I would probably make is, because this isn't a flat tart, you know, the fruit is piled up, I would probably cut up the apple and pears in big chunks instead of these bigger slices of the fruit. But other than that, I think it looks fabulous. Let me get a couple of the cranberries in there. Okay. Hey babe, you want to come over here? Doesn't it look fabulous?
I thought you would never ask.
Okay babe. Here it is. I mean, it looks good, doesn't it?
It does. It looks
I
delicious.
hope it tastes well, because I had issues with the crust. I was so mad at myself. Just so mad. But anyway.
Okay.
I think the thing I would do is cut the fruit in chunks instead of big slices
I'm
like
glad already I can tell just by cutting it that the fruit's very soft in a dessert like this. You know, I like it soft, not firm.
Oh yeah, okay. Ooh, crust is very buttery. I like it.
I do too. Wow.
And I don't think it's too sweet.
No, actually, it's just a little bit of tartness, which is good. No, I like it. I think this is a good breakfast dessert. I'm eating fruit. I feel like I'm eating something healthy. Look at all this fruit.
Well, this is a dessert, but yes, I think you can have it for breakfast too. But I like the cranberries. They add a little tartness to it as well. You know, but it's not overpowering. Well, babe, I'm so glad you like it.
Good job.
Anyway, follow Amy Roloff's Little Kitchen on my YouTube channel. You can find this apple pear cranberry tart and all of the other recipes and videos over there. So thanks for being in my kitchen.